Good evening. My name is Victoria Jeffries, and I am the facilitator for this information this evening for Illinois College. We have Katie and two of her wonderful students here to give you some information. I would like to let you know that even though you do not have your camera or your audio features on, sorry, I'm peeking around my other monitor, to communicate with Katie and Annie and Brooklyn, you can ask questions through the Q&A feature that's at the bottom. If for whatever reason you have to step away or you miss some details during the presentation, it will be recorded, and the recording will be available within a week on the InACAC website. And on that website, you can also register for additional panels and information sessions that are going on. We've had a set of panels last week. We're going to have 2 more weeks of information sessions from the university. So visit the website, you can access the recording, or you can sign up for more sessions. I'm going to turn the screen over, and I hope that you get some good information this evening. Take it away, ladies.
Thank you so much. All right, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Perfect. Can you guys see this? Okay, cool. So my name is Katie Kuznia. I'm an admission counselor at Illinois College. We are located in Jacksonville, Illinois. I also have with me Annie and Brooklyn. So I'm going to go ahead, before I begin, I'm going to have them introduce themselves. And just so you guys know, we'll kind of go through some slides about Illinois College. And then I will do some question and answer with Annie and Brooklyn. I've got about 5 questions for them. And after that, we'll wrap up and answer any questions that you guys may have. So Annie, do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Sure, thanks, Katie. Hi guys, my name is Annie. I'm a senior here at Illinois College, and I am majoring in biochemistry with plans to attend medical school.
Brooklyn, go ahead.
Hi guys, I'm Brooklyn. I'm also a senior here at IC. I'm a double major in communication and health sciences. I hope to go into speech pathology, so applying to grad schools.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. So like I said, we are talking about Illinois College tonight, and Illinois College is located in Jacksonville, Illinois. So we are about 30 minutes from Springfield, Illinois, which is the state capital of Illinois. We are a smaller school, so we have the enrollment right now is about at 1150, but really about 1100 students on campus, on the physical campus. I always tell students it's small enough where everybody still kind of knows everybody, but it's large enough where there are activities, things to do, plenty of clubs and organizations, majors, that sort of thing. The average class size at Illinois College is 16 students. So it is a small environment where you're really going to know your peers and professors. So that's something that, again, I tell students just to kind of analyze with themselves. Do you like to ask questions in class? Do you want to be somebody where you can go to a professor after class if you need help? Where do you kind of want to be with that? And if it is, if you are a student who likes to ask questions and kind of get help, you will like that class size of 16 students. And then the student to faculty ratio is also listed here as 13:1. So it's kind of noted for students to notice, like I said, again, just small environment, small class sizes, and everybody kind of really knows everybody. The student experience at IC, even though we are a smaller school and we do only have 1100 students, we still do have 32 different states represented. So we do have plenty of students from Indiana, just like yourself. We also have 26 countries represented as well. So, we do have a diverse environment, even though we are a smaller school. We do have 28 students of color. So I always like to mention that, just as we are a predominantly white institution. So that's something I want students to know coming in. But we do have 28% of students of color, and a lot of different clubs and organizations related to diversity and trying to make the campus as diverse as possible. We have 37% of first generation students, and we classify first generation as a mom or a parent 1, parent 2 has not attended a 4-year university. So that's just something to note. So if your parents have an associate degree, you still would be considered a first generation student at Illinois College. 87% of our students do live on campus all 4 years. So most of our students enjoy living on campus. And right now we have 8 different residence halls. We have a house specifically for, basically it's a gender kind of diversity home. So transgender, no questions asked as far as gender identity home on campus. We also have plenty of different houses that surround the campus that other students can get into. We have on-campus apartments and off-campus apartments. And this year specifically, we actually have an entire hotel rented out in the town as well to house students with COVID-19. So that's something that we may keep, we may not, we aren't quite sure yet. As far as the academic experience, we do have over 50 majors and programs, so a lot of different programs for students to get involved in. If you know what you want to major in, that's excellent. If you aren't sure, that's okay too. So we actually do not require students to declare a major until the end of their sophomore year. So by that point, you've had some time to kind of take some classes, start to figure out what you're interested in, what you're not interested in, and decide on a major at that time. I always like to tell students too, I went to Illinois College, I graduated in 3.5 years. I changed my major 6 times. And so just for students to know that you are able to kind of switch it up if you aren't quite sure what you want to do. We can be pretty flexible with you and just try to help students kind of navigate that that transition of trying to figure out what you really want to do for the rest of your life. But plenty of different majors and programs. If you do hop on our website, which is www.ic.edu, you can /majors-programs. And on that website, you will find all of our majors and programs listed. And you can click on any of them and find all of the courses offered, the faculty that are involved. You can also find where current students, or I should say students that just graduated, where they've gone to work, different success stories in the majors, all kinds of things. And so it's really helpful on our website for students to look that up and see what you're specifically interested in, and you can kind of see what students are doing with those. I'm actually going to pause and turn it over to you two. Would you be able to give me a little synopsis on your major and kind of just what maybe how you navigate? Did you know that's what you wanted to do right when you came in, or kind of how did you guys get to that? Annie, if you want to go ahead.
Sure. So coming in freshman year, the medical field was always my ambition, but I wasn't necessarily certain on what major to choose. If you guys aren't familiar with this, you can have multiple different majors to get into medical school. So my freshman year, I wasn't decided. I met with a lot of different faculty. The small ratio of faculty to students allowed me to know my professors very well, and so I was able to ask them more questions about my future. So I decided on biochemistry, and it's not an easy major. We have lab courses with our bio and our chemistry classes, and they're all 4 credits. I know a lot of colleges do take that into consideration, even though it's like meeting 4 times a day and then lab once a week. I'm also a part of a pre-med program. So I know with a lot of our majors, we have clubs and we have other outside activities that kind of relate to those majors. So for pre-med, it helped me with my study books for the MCAT, which is a really big deal. I know for like dentistry and veterinary science, we have those opportunities as well. So not a specific class that I had to take, but just other programs I offered alongside with my major.
All right, so I am a double major, completely doable here at IC. Most people either double major or major minor. There's even some people that triple major. I'm not that crazy, but so I came in thinking I wanted to go into nursing. So I came in undecided, but definitely was thinking the biology track. So I started taking those courses, and being a liberal arts education, you take from all different areas. So I took my comm class and my intro to communication, and I loved that professor. And he was like, "You did really well. I really think you should consider a communication major." And I was like, I don't know, that's kind of a lot. Like I didn't personally think I was ever going to double major. So I was like, yeah, I'll think on it. And I'm actually now, communication is my first major, and I switched over to health sciences, and that's become my second major. I was pretty much done with that one, so I was like, I'm going to finish it out. But now I'm more of the comm major than I am considered a health sciences. So very doable to switch it around. Most people don't really think that those overlap, but I've actually had classes that count towards both my communication as well as my health sciences major. So that's totally doable. There are overlapping classes, but that's where that core blueprint really does help get you into those different areas, because had I not had that professor kind of push me along to be like, no, you can do it, it's totally doable. And I even had the opportunity to graduate early. I just didn't want to give up my time with all my friends. So I stayed the full 4 years, but I could have graduated a year early. So totally doable.
And I'll kind of piggyback off that. When I was a student at Illinois College, I came in to be a kindergarten teacher. And one thing I really love about our education is we try to get students out as early on as possible into part of their career field, just so they can kind of see, is it really what I want to do? And so I was in a kindergarten classroom my second week of college, realized I had no patience for that, like at all. So I ended up transitioning to communication. We used to have a major called management and organizational leadership, which is essentially business. I did that for a little bit, but I flopped around quite a few times before I landed on psychology and sociology. But in 3.5 years, I did have 5 different internship opportunities. So a great way for students to kind of figure out, is this something I like? Is this not something I like? And although I enjoyed all 5 of the internships, I really didn't like what I was doing. So I liked the experience of it, but it really helped me know that that's not actually something I would want to do. And I just count that as, I don't know, a positive experience in terms of not kind of going down that road and figuring that out in the end. So yeah, that's definitely something that's doable at IC. Thanks, guys. Kind of transitioning into different life-defining experiences. So I just mentioned internships. If having an internship is something that you're interested in, you can definitely find one, whether that be at Illinois College, in the surrounding area, or even, you know, back in Indiana over the summer or something. That's definitely something that you guys could potentially do. We do have student-to-faculty research. So especially students interested in the sciences, this is something that they may be interested in. What's really nice about this is that it's not something that you are able to say at the end of your 4 years. You're not saying, you know, I'm prepared to do the research, but you're able to say, I've actually done the research. And what's nice about that is a lot of students do this research at the graduate level, but we're actually allowing students to do that right at the undergraduate level. And so it can be one-on-one with you and a professor. Again, whether that's something through the semester or through the summer, it's really up to students on what they'd like to do. But if that's something you're interested in, definitely something that that you can potentially do with a professor. And a lot of that one-on-one work does come in, you know, I think it comes in really nicely because students are able to, at that point, receive, you know, great recommendation letters, really get to learn from people that, you know, are very specified in their area. And so you're just really able to kind of take to those professors and get all the help that you can. Community engagement at IC, we do have a lot of different, whether that be community service opportunities or opportunities for students to get involved in the Jacksonville community if they'd like. And international travel is obviously listed, which due to COVID-19, it isn't happening right this second, but we presume it will pick up again. And so we do offer 2 different types of travel. So we have a breakaway experience, which Annie and Brooklyn, have either of you gone on a breakaway?
I've not been on a breakaway, but I've been through with classes.
Okay, perfect. So a breakaway opportunity is basically it's like a week or 2. It depends on which breakaway you're kind of looking at. Some of them are different. And it can be about 10 students or so and a few faculty members. Some of them are themed. Some of them, I mean, they go really a lot of different places. So they've been to Italy, Jamaica, Cuba, Belize. I've seen them go to Hawaii, all kinds of places. So if that's something that you're interested in, every single student at Illinois College receives $1,000 subsidy to be able to do so. So if you want to do that, that's definitely something that you can potentially do. We also have study abroad. So if you're interested in studying away for an entire semester or an entire year, that's something that you could participate in as well. Academic support at Illinois College, we do have a lot of support. So I often tell students, if you attend Illinois College, I think you would have to try to fail because there's just so, which you obviously wouldn't want to fail, but there's just so many layers of support that I don't see students fall through very often. The TRIO program is an opportunity for students who are either first generation, Pell eligible, and or have a documented disability. You can be a part of TRIO. And essentially, if you don't fit those qualifications, you can be a part of the Center for Academic Excellence, which is this academic success mentoring. So either way, every single student in Illinois College is covered with a free academic coach. So that's something that's really nice and helpful for students if you need someone just to talk to, or if you need help in a class, or you feel like you need help learning how to study or retaining what you're reading, all of these different things, you are able to do so. So I definitely think that students should take the opportunity to meet with those individuals. And I know I had a TRIO coach when I was a student at IC that just kind of helped me stay on my toes and go through, if I needed tutoring on campus, he was able to help connect me with a tutor. I was able to tutor on campus, so if you do well in a course and you want to become a tutor, you can do that. But there's a lot of different help that they can offer just by meeting with them. And then we also have different career planning opportunities. So if you're interested, obviously, whether that is grad school, medical school, or if that is, a job after graduation, those are all things that these academic coaches can help you find. If you are an athlete at Illinois College, we do have, or if you're an athlete in general, we do have 23 different athletic programs at Illinois College. We are Division III athletics, so we do not offer any athletic scholarships, but we do offer academic scholarships, which we'll talk about in a second. We do have the Blue Crew as well. So the Blue Crew is basically a student-led student section, just trying to bring energy to the games and different, a lot of excitement and energy. We do have different activities with the Blue Crew. So sometimes students will receive free food, or I know they have a t-shirt when they sign up. So all kinds of different activities with that. But it's a great way to get involved and also support your other students at IC. Any student who is interested in supporting the student athletes, you are able to get into any game or event for free. So we definitely encourage students to, again, support the other students on campus. But if you are an athlete yourself and you're interested in getting in touch with coaches, you can go to our Illinois College athletic website, click on the specific sport, and under roster, you can find the coach. You can find the coach and the coach's information. So I always encourage students to send coaches a quick email, let them know that you're interested, why you're interested in the program, and if you have any film or anything like that, that's always helpful to attach as well, just so they can see that. But that's something that's always nice for students, is if you want to participate in athletics, a lot of times, like I said, you just kind of need to get in touch with the coaches, and that's something that you can potentially see happen. Kind of in turning it over to next steps, if you are a senior this year and you're interested in applying for admission, our application is free. It's super simple. So the application basically is your personal information. We ask for a personal statement, which is a paragraph or two on a topic of your choice, and then your high school transcript. So we are actually accepting unofficial transcripts this year. So either you can just email your transcript to me, or you can have your guidance counselor email it, mail it through parchment, whatever you'd like. We do also have a secondary school report, which is basically a report for your counselor to fill out and get that back into us. And then we are test score optional. So if you would have already taken the ACT or SAT and you want to submit that, you can. If you have not had a chance to take it yet, that's totally okay. And if you've taken it and you're not loving the score you received, that's okay too. We don't have to have it to be able to admit you. So you're able to submit all of those items to us, and at that point we will review that and come up with a decision. If you are admitted to Illinois College, you would receive scholarships. So our smallest grand total of scholarships that students receive is $17,000, and our largest that students receive is full tuition. But right in between there, the largest that you would receive without receiving full tuition is $24,000, and all of those scholarships are renewable every single year as long as you're a student at Illinois College. Speaking of the full tuition scholarship, I added this in here. If you're interested in qualifying for the full tuition scholarship and you're a senior, I definitely encourage you to get your application in as soon as possible. Again, it's free, super simple to fill out, but basically we have two events this year called Bright Blue. So we are having one in November and one in February. And these events are going to be an opportunity for students to come to campus, see the campus, but also be interviewed for a spot in the honors program along with a full tuition scholarship. We only have about 5 full tuition scholarships to give out. However, we do have about 40 to 50 spots in the honors program. So we do encourage students to still obviously apply. If you are awarded a spot in the honors program, you will not only take honors component classes and graduate with honors, but you will also receive a fully funded breakaway as well. So that's something that's nice for those students who are interested in that as well. Just by applying to the college, you are already applying to be in the honors program. So we will take a look at everything you've given us, and we will check in and make sure that it is, if you qualify, like I said, you'll be invited to that program, but it is something that you would want to get your application into Illinois College as soon as possible to be able to be considered. I do have a list of our scholarships here. So our full tuition scholarships, we do have the Trustee Scholarship, which is off of Bright Blue that I just talked about. So that is an invite-only event. We do have an AERO-STEM. We have 8 AERO-STEM scholarships a year. So You must be Pell eligible to receive them, but it's 8 scholarships for students who are interested in the sciences, and those scholarships are full tuition all 4 years. We also have, when it comes to grades and academics, these next 3 scholarships are the 3 different academic scholarships. So we have the True Blue, which is 12 to 13,000, Excellence in Education, which is 14 to 19, and then the Academic Distinction, which is 19 to 20,000. So depending on kind of where you fall in there, that's what you would receive for your academics. We do have a location-based award. So since all of you are out-of-state students, we actually do not have out-of-state tuition. So everybody pays the same price. But for being an out-of-state tuition, you would actually receive $2,000 just for being an out-of-state tuition. Or being an out-of-state student, sorry. And we have a Ready for Success scholarship as well. So that's $2,000, $1,000 if you visit campus, $1,000 if you file your FAFSA. So total together, that's where I got that 17 to 24,000, and that will be renewable every single year as long as you're a student at Illinois College. And then the last thing on here, I do have speech and debate and music and esports listed. So for speech and debate and for music, if you are interested in those 2 things, you will be able to audition for a spot in the speech and debate program or the music program. And those scholarships can range from $500 to $1,000, but sometimes even $2,000 as well. And then if you're interested in esports, those scholarships are available as well. So right now we're currently, our esports team is playing League of Legends. So if that's something you're interested in, that's definitely an opportunity. You'd want to get in touch with the coach, and there are scholarships available for that as well. In terms of the value of the education at IC, I like to tell students, you know, you're guaranteed an internship, a research, or a study abroad experience if that's something you're looking for. Your textbooks are included in tuition. So the tuition, what's nice about IC is it's going to include everything. So your housing, your meal plan, your textbooks, everything. And tuition right now is at $43,114. But again, no one pays anywhere near that because the lowest scholarship you'll receive is $17,000. We do have a Finish in 4 program. So Finish in 4 essentially means that every student is guaranteed to finish at Illinois College in 4 years. If for whatever reason you do not finish in 4 years, Illinois College will pick up that tuition. So basically the kind of, I would say the bind there is that you are, you need to meet with your advisor once a semester in terms of registering for classes for the next semester. And then basically just sign on it that you want to be a part of this. And again, if you don't finish in 4 years, IC would pick up that tuition. We do have generous scholarship and financial aid opportunities. So like I said, many students, all of our students are receiving scholarships from the college. Many students are also receiving state aid and or government aid. And we also offer additional need-based aid from the college as well. So there's a lot of different aid available if you file your FAFSA and get that into us. And then, as I mentioned, every new student will receive an academic coach as well. So just someone to kind of help you keep on your toes. And so the last thing here I have is my email, my phone number. So you guys are all more than welcome to reach out to me at any time. I'm going to leave this up for just a few minutes and then I'll take it down. So if you need this information, make sure to jot it down. But I'm kind of going to transition into asking Annie and Brooklyn a few questions. Like I said, I've got 5 or so questions for you guys to answer, and then we'll leave the rest of the time for questions from you guys. So while I'm talking to them, feel free to throw questions in that question and answer, I guess, box at the bottom, and I'll be able to answer those in the end. But first, I guess, Brooklyn, we'll start with you. Can you tell me everything that you're involved in at IC or everything you have been involved in, as much as you can remember at least?
Yes. So one of the big things is I'm a student ambassador, so I do this. I work on campus in the speech center, so that's part of my communication major. I excelled in Com 101 and they offered me, that's an offered position, that's not an applied position. So I was offered that. I have been a tutor for a statistics course. I'm a member of Alpha Phi Omega, which is our co-ed service fraternity on campus. It's nationally recognized, so that's a big thing on campus. We have over 80 members, so we're one of the bigger clubs on campus. I have participated in intramural volleyball, even though I'm not very good, Annie can attest. And then I've also participated in Powder Puff, which Annie ran. So that's pretty much all I've done on campus. But Annie, you want to go with yours?
Sure. So extracurricular wise, I am a member of Parker After Dark, which is like a science club that we meet and kind of do fun, cool science experiments. I'm also a member of our psychology club, which we meet and we kind of just do like, a lot of times this semester it's been like coloring activities or just de-stressors, because I know it's really stressful for college. I'm sure high school is the same way this year. I am involved in research, so I do one-on-one research with Professor Hamilton, and we're currently looking at lens regeneration in frogs and tadpoles, so we're working on that every week. I have had an internship through the Health and Wellness Center through Nurse Tammy, so I was able to kind of follow through with that. She's a nurse on campus who's always available to us students, and it was kind of like a clinical experience for me. I am president of the Tri Beta Honor Society. So it's the biology honors, and we get inducted based off of our GPA. I have also been a student ambassador. So we give tours and we do certain student panels like this. We help you guys out for Bright Blue if you were to attend that event as well. And then I was also a member of our student activities board, which is kind of turned over, but that's a big deal for us. On the weekends, we try to plan fun events. So we have a big homecoming week. We have, Bruner Bash. We have free food, free pizza, kind of like a glow night, skate night, free movies. So we try to keep our activities on the weekends to keep students engaged, things like that. And then lastly, I've been involved in Connection Leaders, which we're now called involvement leaders, but basically it's like an experience as you come in as a freshman. It's a big transition, and so we're there to help you guys kind of feel comfortable with campus before the rest of the turning students come in as well.
Awesome, thanks guys. So one thing I want to highlight, especially off of these two, they're great examples, is that I would say the average Illinois college student is pretty involved. So whether that be, you guys talked about, possibly double majoring, some of our students are student athletes, but again, most of our students will have a lot of different things that they're involved in, whether that be clubs, activities, sports, that sort of thing. So perfect examples for that. Perfect. And then you guys kind of touched on it. Annie, you touched on Student Activities Board and Center for Student Involvement. So talk to me a little bit about what do you guys do? What do you guys do for fun? What's available on campus? Obviously, this year with COVID-19, we aren't having as many social, events, but I guess prior to this, think back a little bit, kind of what is there to do, and maybe touch a little bit too in the town. So these students are all from Indiana, so Jackson will be a new environment. So what would you say is your favorite part, and kind of what's going on?
Well, just to put this out there, me and Annie do live together, and we lived together last year. One of our roommates is from Indiana, so we can kind of relate on that level. The one thing that you guys should be aware of is there is a time change. That is one thing that I was always like, why are you so confused? But there is a time change. So we do know a little bit about Indiana and that little transfer. You wouldn't know she's from Indiana. It's not like she's got an accent or anything. It's not like she stands out. So it's a really easy transition. So just so you guys know. But I'm gonna let Annie take this over because we do a lot together. So we'll just say it once because we do live together.
Yeah, on the weekends, like I said, IC knows we're a small campus and we don't, have a lot of activities outside of Jacksonville. So we try to make those activities on campus for us. I think one of my favorite things is Bruner Bash. And so it's something we do in our athletic complex. And let's see, last year we have a bunch of free food. We always cater Taco Bell or things like that. And we did crafts. We had, I don't know what they're called, but they're blow ups, and you kind of stand on them and you whack each other off. So activities like that. Zip lining, they had indoor rock walls. So that was really cool for me because I was more of an active person. But we also have free movie night each semester, which is really cool. We have 2 theaters here in Jacksonville, kind of like a small town on the square, and then another one that's kind of a bigger screened movie theater with the blockbusters. And so every IC student was able to get in there and get popcorn and soda for free. When it's nice outside, we had a food truck day, so everyone was able to kind of go to the different food trucks, and there was music and different activities. So IC definitely tries to do activities for their students. But when we don't have certain activities put on by the college, I think around campus, what's really nice about the small campus is that we know people. So we kind of just hang out with friends. Brooklyn and I, like she mentioned, we're in-house together. We get along great. And so we hang out with like our housemates, suite mates. That's really popular. There's a coffee shop here that you guys have to know about. So that's like a Saturday, Sunday morning activity. But there's a lot of things in Jacksonville. And even if you're bored in Jacksonville, Springfield is only 30 minutes away. So.
Perfect. Thank you, guys. Okay, so these students are obviously in the college search process. So talk to me about your college search process and what made you choose IC, even if it wasn't even your initial kind of choice.
Do you want me to go, Brooklyn?
Sure.
So I'm actually a transfer student. My top two choices were IC and Millikan University, another small private school in Illinois. And in the end, I chose Millikan because I was afraid of medical school and I thought nursing was the better route for me. My first semester there, I tell everyone I was 2 weeks into Millikan, and my twin brother lived here on campus. And so I visited IC all the time. And I knew that Millikan was not my fit, but IC was. It was always kind of in the back of my head. I just felt more engaged there. People were more open, friendly, and that was more my atmosphere. So I actually transferred from Millikan to IC in January of my freshman year. Transferring here, it was a extremely welcoming process. I know it can kind of be intimidating and you just feel like you don't fit in because people already had connections, but I found really great people. And then, like I mentioned before, the professors really worked with me to find the right program and make me feel confident in my future career, because even through all of it, that's what college is really about, is to be successful in the future. So.
Just to piggyback off Annie a little bit, me and her actually met in one of our classes. So that's another thing, like IC is a small school. Like she said, like she didn't really know many people. So like we got to know each other as class friends. And then last year we were all looking for roommates and we were like, hey, like, would you want to live together? And that's how we became great friends. But we didn't meet each other through a class. So they are nice small classes. So you do get to know people. But I originally am from Peoria, Illinois. So right in central Illinois. Bradley, I don't know if you guys have heard of that. That's a big school there. But I always knew about Bradley. My dad went there. It's a great school. Loved it, but it was too close to home. That was not what I was looking for. I wanted to go away to college, which I'm sure you guys being from Indiana are kind of feeling that same way. You kind of want to get away, be close enough, but not too close. And living at home was too close for me. But I liked the small feel. And I liked how that's what everyone talked about at Bradley, is like everyone knows everyone. It's a small feel. And I was like, I like that. You're just 10 minutes from my house. So that's kind of what I was looking for when I was looking for colleges. And IC was brought up on my radar. And I was looking between IC, Wesleyan, and Bradley was still on my radar. But those are all three pretty small schools. But when I came to IC, it was one, a good enough distance. Two, it was that small field that I was looking for, because I knew that I needed to be active and engaged in a class. Otherwise, I would sleep through my classes and not be engaged, and I would just totally check out. So I kind of needed that accountability. I knew that about myself, that I needed that accountability to go to class, to, you know, have teachers call on me and stuff. So that was a big thing. And also when you go on campus, people know each other, and that's something I thrive in. I'm a people person. I like to say hi to people. I like to, you know, smile and know who's smiling back at me. I like to know, like, Annie in my class, like I got to know her really well. And that was through a genetics course. Like that's how I thrived. And I noticed that when I came to tour on campus, my tour guide knew everyone. And I was like, that's what I want. I like to know people and not just kind of, you know, see a stranger that you pass and have no idea who they are. I liked the small feel. So that's why I chose IC.
Perfect. Thank you, guys. And then the last thing I'll kind of ask you, so you just touched on it by saying you really got to know Annie, and I always tell students too, every student who's a first-year student is put into a first-year seminar course, and so those are kind of your first friends on campus. I've been in multiple weddings of different girls who were in my first-year seminar class, and so I think it's something that it's just fun. Those are kind of your first people on campus, the first people you meet, but at Illinois College, you're able to really kind of get to know your peers and professors. So in terms of professors, I know, Annie, you're doing student fact research. Brooklyn, you said, a professor came to you and said, hey, you'd be a great fit for this. I have similar stories to that as well. So talk to me about professors and classes and what that's like. Are they helpful? Are they there for you? Are they easy to reach? What are your experiences with that?
Yeah, I would say all of the above. Helpful, easy to reach. For gen eds, even professors that I don't have multiple classes with, they still know my name. They'll see me at Starbucks. They'll be like, oh, hey, hi, Annie, like, how's your semester going? So just the fact that they remember your name, they care about you, and it's real. But the classes that you have a lot, you have like repeated professors a lot of times at IC. So I've had professors for like 3 and 4 classes who obviously get to know them very well. My class sizes get smaller and smaller each year as we get more focused into our area of study. So those professors are starting to, they know what areas I struggle in, so they're going to help me out more there. I feel comfortable enough. A lot of them I have like their phone number if I ever have homework problems or anything like that. When I was applying to medical schools, recommendation letters are a big deal, not just for med school, but for a lot of grad schools. And I know I do have friends from high school who are at U of I and other big places, and they're like, I don't know who I'm going to reach out to. I don't know. And I pulled up my phone and I had 6 already listed and had reached out. And so that's something that I never really had to worry about just because we build that connection. And even if you aren't necessarily someone who is like outgoing and, super talkative to your professor, here at IC, because of the smaller class sizes and the repeatedness of your professors, you're going to get to know them very well, even if we're like a more reserved person.
So for my department of communication, it's a lot smaller than the biology department. So having the 2 majors, I feel like I have a broad understanding of it. So with the sciences, there's a lot more areas of study, like Annie was saying. You can get more into like a specific field, whereas communication is more broad. There's not as many professors, but you get to know them really well because you have them over and over. So one of my professors, like Annie was saying, like I have his phone number, I have watched his kid, I have you get to know them. So it's like you really get to build those connections with your professors. A lot of professors do live in town. Annie, I think you even went to your professor's house for dinner for your major. So like you get to know them more than just a professor. It's not like high school where this is Mrs. Jones and that's all you know them by. Like some by first name, like their families. Like I said, I babysat for one of my professors. So it's not so much, it's more of a personal connection. It's not so much a teacher-student. You actually get to know them. Like I got texts over the summer from my professors saying like, how are you doing? Because, we were in quarantine and everything got cut short. Like mentally, how are you doing? Not just like in classes. So professors really do care and they are really easy to get to. Since I am health sciences, I've also gotten into the psych courses and I can go to them just as easily with, like Annie said, recommendation letters or just help on things. Grad school is quite a task to apply for. So I've reached out to quite a few different professors just for different help because what I want to go into, there isn't like a specific person to go to on campus. So I've reached out to quite a few and all of them have been more than willing to help me get through everything. But it's really easy to get to them because email is super easy. A lot of them you have phone numbers or you can just walk into their office. A lot of them are in their office way more than you would think. They're there from pretty much usually like 8 to 4 every day. So you can find them around campus pretty easily.
Perfect. Thanks, guys. And the last thing I'll kind of ask you guys, I know we're kind of coming up on time, but what kind of piece of advice would you give somebody who's in the college search process right now? Especially, I do want to touch on the fact, just so our students on here know, that we are offering on-campus tours. So I know some colleges are doing just virtual, some are offering, on campus. We are offering on campus. We do have a 10 a.m. time slot, 10 a.m. Central Time Zone time slot. So, and then a 2 p.m. as well. So those are 2 time slots that you can register for. We do also offer Saturday visits at 9, 10, and 11. However, due to COVID-19, we are only allowing 1 family per time slot. So at this point, we're completely booked for October. We have about 10 days left in November. So if you're interested in visiting campus, definitely get it on the calendar. We do still offer virtual tours of campus every single day at 4 o'clock Central Time Zone on Monday, Thursday, and Friday, and at 7 p.m. Central Time Zone on Tuesday and Wednesday. So a lot of opportunities there. And then this coming Sunday, the 18th, and actually the next Sunday as well, think it's the 25th, we have IC Weekend Live. So those are virtual events. It's going to be a live tour of campus. It's also going to be a live student panel, but all done virtual. So you're able to do it from home. But if you're interested in visiting or those opportunities, always feel free to reach out. The last thing is, like I said, any advice for these students who are searching for school right now?
Yeah, I would say the first thing when looking for colleges is, even if you don't know, your major, your focus of study, make sure they have that strong program. IC offers a lot of different majors, and I'm really proud of our different areas of study and the way we put things together and our success for our seniors and our graduates. But the other thing is somewhere that you fit in and it feels like home. And I know that seems kind of silly, but if you come to IC and, by junior and senior year, you're going to be saying it too. So just someplace that you fit in and feel welcome with the activities that you can be a part of, but that also strengthens your academic career as well.
So my advice would be like the similar. For me, it was more about the feel of campus. You can look on websites and see what people offer. You can see how many majors, you can see how many students, you can see all that kind of stuff. But really, like, if you walk on campus and like you don't feel like you're going to get lost super easy, or like you feel like the town has enough for you to do. I mean, that's an easy one to look at, because I thought, like, from the outside, I thought Jacksonville was going to be too small for me, because being from Peoria, there's a lot to do there. And I was like, it doesn't look, but once I got here, that wasn't the case. There was plenty, way more than I thought there was going to be. So I really feel like you need to like feel the campus. That's a little bit harder on a virtual tour. You still get kind of the idea, but I would highly recommend, if you can, visit campus to do it, because that's really where you get the most feel of campus.
For sure. Excellent advice. And I also recommend visiting every school you're interested in. So if you have a list of 3, 4, 5, make sure you visit them. If you come down to a list of 2 or 3, make sure you hop back into those visits. At Illinois College specifically, we are able to get you in on a class or meeting with a professor or meeting with a coach or a team. So if that's something that means a lot to your decision, that's definitely something that we can do for you. So just let us know that when you're interested in visiting. But like I said, that is all that we have for you today. So I did share my information on the slide. So just feel free to reach out, email me or call me if you do come up with any questions. You can also just Google my name and Illinois College, and you'll definitely find me on the website as well. But we definitely look forward to having you on campus soon, and hope that your college search goes well for you.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that information with us. And I am glad to say that this session has been recorded. Thank you for taking the time to look in on us. If you watch the recording afterward, please make note of how to contact Katie and get information about the tours that are on campus. When I end our webinar, please make sure that you take the quick 4-question survey and then look through the list of future information sessions that will be offered and sign up for those that haven't approached yet, or go back through and see what we have posted for the ones that were conducted last week. I thank you greatly, and I do hope that you have a good evening. Bye.